So, so what is your general research process or approach to research for the Regency period?
You know, I find I can get too bogged down in research. So this is probably going to sound terrible. I actually have to step back from doing too much research because I find that's all I want to do. And then I just magically want the book to be there. I'm sure we all feel that way. So I try not to do a whole lot of research unless it's something that I'm afraid of putting in a book that didn't exist yet. Then I will do more research. But a lot of what I draw on, and this is probably not advisable, is my 30 plus years of reading romance. I kind of use that as my sort of base knowledge, even though they were written by authors who are infallible like we all are. But for me as a reader, historical accuracy, if it's egregiously inaccurate, it pulls me out, but I'm not a huge stickler for everything being perfectly historically accurate. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a fine balance for me. I do love research, but I can't let myself go down the rabbit hole too much, or I'm already a slow reader. The book would literally take me 5 years to write if I let myself do too much research.
Oh, I
Which I
understand
love.
that impulse. So you mentioned, you've been reading romance for 30 years, and in your bio you mentioned a few of the very foundational, but are there any historical romance authors specifically that you kind of hold up in your head as that's the person I want to write like?
Oh, not necessarily from that long ago, just because we read through a different lens now. A lot of the books from the 80s and 90s were very problematic. At the time, I thought they were the pinnacle of the types of relationships you should, aspire to. Judith McNaught was my biggie. I devoured all of her books, but she has a lot of dubious consent in her books. The same kind of with Julie Garwood. I love how they write these big sweeping romances that are like 500 pages long, which also wouldn't fly nowadays. So while those were kind of my foundational authors, and I still hold a very special place in my heart for them, it just doesn't work as well today. Nowadays, Julianne Long and Eloisa James and Beverly Jenkins are all, I think, three authors who could not be more perfect, at least from my own personal tastes and what I look for in romance, just their dialogue, their sexy scenes, everything. They're all just chef's kiss. So I
Oh.
can get even halfway as good as any of them anytime in my life. I don't know what God I would have sacrificed something to, but anyway, yeah, those three are fantastic.